Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Garcia drives the ball left center field. Buxton in the run will get there. But one pitch after the wild pitch, Venezuela strikes first. Here's a drive to center field off of the bat of Abreu. Wilyer Abreu hits it out. And it's 2-0 Venezuela. Bryce Harper representing the tying run with 2 outs in the 8th inning. Harper sends a fly ball to deep center field. Better late than never. Bryce Harper has tied the championship. And the go-ahead run is in scoring position with nobody out. Into left center field, headed for the gap, and Venezuela has retaken the lead. And Eugenio Suarez just like that. On a 2-2 pitch, Schwarber swings and misses, 1 out in the 9th. Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Way up. When it comes down, Venezuela is going to be an out away from a championship. It's up to Roman Anthony. The United States down to its last strike. Venezuela, the best in baseball. For a team that was carrying a country, a World Baseball Classic title, Omar Lopez said his whole goal in this thing was to bring joy to the people back home, to make his country happy. They don't just make everybody happy, but they bring home the trophy, winning the WBC for the first time.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this program. Landon Winkler's over in the corner running the video feed and the cameras. Today's show is presented by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities supporting student, community, and employee needs. Your sounds of the past 24 hours. A whole lot went on last night. I only had time to get the highlights from one game. And so we went to the World Baseball Classic Championship, a very fun, low-scoring baseball game. And Venezuela wins it at the end 3-2. America is down 2-0 for the bulk of the game. Bryce Harper, and I believe in the bottom of the 8th inning, hits a 2-run homer that just, I mean, the noise in that place in that moment was so incredible. And Bryce Harper, with maybe the most meaningless game-tying home run that has ever been hit in a championship game, because in the top of the 9th inning, Eugenio Suarez hits a double with a runner on second. He comes around to score. That winds up being the winning run, as the United States can't do anything in the bottom of the 9th, and Venezuela wins the World Baseball Classic for the first time ever. Personally, and I think a lot of Royals fans may be able to appreciate this. Maybe not. I was rooting for the United States throughout the entire tournament, but I realized going into this game, there's nobody for the Braves playing for the U.S., and I'm a Braves fan. And I'm a Braves fan before I'm a fan of international baseball, I suppose. And so I was watching the U.S. team warm up, and I go, I don't know who any of these guys are. And then I look over at the Venezuela team, and I say watching them warm up, but kind of looking at rosters, and I realize, man, Ronald Acuna Jr., my favorite baseball player in the world right now, is playing for Venezuela and playing very well in this tournament. And I was kind of like, man, either I get to watch the United States win a championship, and I'm from the United States, I'm an American citizen, and I get to watch the United States win a championship, or I get to watch Ronald Acuna Jr. play with the utmost joy and be really happy for winning a title. And I got to be happy for my favorite baseball player in the world. And maybe some Royals fans can sympathize with that. Maikel Garcia and, Salvador Perez are both on the Venezuelan team. Of course, there is an American for the Royals as well, and Bobby Witt Jr., who acquitted himself very well during this tournament. So, really, either way, what we need to get into is very, very fun World Baseball Classic. Can't wait to do it again. And America comes up short once again. this Venezuelan team had to go through an absolute gauntlet to get here. They had to beat Japan and the United States to raise this trophy, and really, really impressive showing for them. Also, last night, I didn't have time to fit these highlights into the sounds of the past 24 hours, but I do want to go over them. First two of the first four games of the NCAA tournament. I remember we had this discussion yesterday. The first two games, Howard and UMBC, followed by Texas and NC State. Incredible basketball games. Both of these were really, really, really fun to watch. Howard beats UMBC 86-83. Texas beats NC State 68-66. About as close as games can get. Texas, I know, hit a buzzer beater to win it 68-66. The game was tied, and they get a shot up with a second and a half left that falls, and they will make it through to face, I can't even remember who they're facing. But it just really, really impressive games. Had a whole lot of fun watching them, and I hope everybody else did as well. So those are your sounds of the past 24 hours. WBC done, NCAA tournament getting underway. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Also in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletics programs the best in the country. Fun show for you today. We'll lead it off with Nathan Brockelman. He has been a weekly guest for some time, but got a little busy. I won't say got busy. It wasn't that he was ignoring the show. He was out of town. He was out of state at Nationals, and then he got busy, heavy on the recruiting trail, had some personal stuff also coming up, and so Nathan Brockelman finally back in the studio here today, and he'll tell us all about Nationals and how the Cougars are building for next year on the wrestling program. And after that, Michael Stedinger, longtime pitching coach for Great Bend High School, is now the head coach for Great Bend High School baseball. And he joins us on the program as the newly minted coach of that program. And so, again, we'll lead things off with Nathan Brockelman. In the first half of the show, back half will be the introduction of Michael Stedinger, new head baseball coach for Great Bend High School. Nathan Brockelman up after this. You're listening to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB at 95.5 FM.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
C&E Doors, this is Cindy.
Do you have any residential doors?
Yes, we do. We just got a full shipment of standard residential doors in.
Papa said we have a load.
Hadley, you can't say that.
Papa does.
Boy, am I in trouble now.
I'll take care of both of you later.
We know how hard residential doors are to find right now, so hurry while supplies last.
Way to change the subject, Dad. You're not off the hook yet.
Hey, announcer, help me out of this.
C&E Doors, Great Bend, and Hayes.
Barton Community College, in partnership with Golden Key Group, proudly offers the nation's first associate degree in federal human resources. This online program prepares anyone for remote federal HR careers across the government. Service members and military spouses can use My CAA or GI Bill benefits to take the next step toward a flexible, rewarding career from wherever you are. Learn more at federalhr.bartonccc.edu.
Welcome back to Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, joined now by Nathan Brockelman, head coach at Barton Community College Wrestling. Coach, we'll start with this. Thank you so much for your time all year. You were a weekly guest for us for a while, and you've come back from Nationals. Season is done. Tell us about Nationals and how the team did.
Yeah, so first of all, apologize if my voice goes in and out. We had our USAW Kids State Wrestling this past weekend, so the grind never stops realistically in the wrestling world. So we got to go enjoy some of our little kids wrestlings this past weekend and coach them up, including my own kids. So, but back to Nationals, we wrestled well. We had 5 of them going, and the difference between this year and last year is last year we took 5 and only 1 was a guaranteed return. This year we took 5 and 4 of the 5 are going to be returning for next year's squad. So we're looking forward to, having some foundation a little bit for the next year. And overall we wrestled well. Some of our draws weren't the greatest. Had some tough, 2 seed, 3 seed guys that we had to try to wrestle right off the bat. Saran Hill probably had the biggest impact on the tournament. He made it all the way out to the blood round. This is the first year, at least for me in my coaching career there at Barton, that we've had someone make it to the second session. There's 2 sessions on the first day. In the second session, if you win 2 matches in the second session, then you're an All-American. And unfortunately, we lost in that blood round. It was against the same kid we wrestled in the regional finals. We don't like to, have excuses and things like that, but Saran kind of had a little knee tweak a couple weeks before Nationals when we were practicing, and we were winning the match against the kid that beat us in the regional finals, and unfortunately he hooked up some double underhooks, and when he went to trip us, he tripped us on the knee that had been bothering us. It locked up on us. We did get pinned by him, but we were, winning the match at that point. So, his knee doesn't lock up, or he doesn't have that knee injury that we're battling. Who knows? He maybe fights off that a little bit better and a little bit easier. But he had a good season overall. We look forward to him, maybe even competing for a national championship next year, at least definitely being in the top 8, considering he was right there in the top 10 this year. Brendan Fauna still picked up a win for us up there, which was good. He ended up actually beating a kid that beat him at regions as well. Went 1-2 on the weekend. Derek Truman got to cap his career off. Wasn't sure if he's even going to qualify, and then he qualified, and then he actually went 1-2 up there, picked up a win, picked up a final pin. Really happy for Derek. I'm excited to see. I don't think he's going to be going on to wrestling, but I know he's got a good job lined up in the construction world, which is what he was going into. So they're at Manhattan, I think, with Icon Structures, which is someone that actually helped benefit us. So shout out to them. They were, because of Derek, they did a mat sponsorship for us, and so just appreciate them and appreciate Derek's hard work. And we had Shane Todd at 133 and Julian Orancha at 125. Both of them went 0-2. They both matched up with top 8 seeds in the first match. That didn't go very well for them, but then the second match, both of them, lost by decision to guys that actually went on and won 3 or 4 matches in the bracket. Neither one of those guys that they lost second round were All-Americans, but, they did go and pick up a bunch more wins, and we were right there, a takedown or a reversal or just something to take over that match. So
It feels like, Coach, it's got to be a great feeling for you to see the growth of the program, and it's quantifiable in the number of guys that you've sent to nationals. And I think it was 1 your first year, 2 your second year, and now in your third year you've got 5, and 4 of these 5 are coming back next year. And this, again, to see the growth of the program has got to be really gratifying for you.
It is. And, we went 1 first year, 5 the second year, 5 the third year. The biggest difference is this year's 5 are returning 4 of those 5. So we'll have 4 guys that have already had experience up there at the national tournament that are going to be a little more hungry than maybe just the one that was returning. But yeah, it's satisfying. We're not done, obviously. We are getting better every year, but it's a process. Building a program isn't done overnight. It takes 7 to 10 years. We're on year 3, and I feel like we're on track to hopefully be a top 5 team here in the short future. But obviously, I also understand what it takes to turn a program around and to get them going. We did finish almost in the top half of the JUCOs this year. I think we were like 33rd, and I think there was like maybe 60 teams there. So we're right there to being in the top half. They only rank out to 20, I believe, in wrestling. I know some of the other sports get, some receiving votes and things like that. But in wrestling world, it's just based off your tournaments. And if you're in the top 20 based on rankings, you're in the top 20. If you're not, then you're not. So, Saran entered the rankings a little bit at the beginning of the year, or right at the end of the year. He's even at the end of the year still ranked number 11 according to the Open Mats ranking system. I have a feeling, maybe we'll get a couple guys, especially the ones that won some matches, that maybe they'll crack their preseason rankings next year. And who knows, maybe we'll start out with the preseason top 20.
How important is it for guys to get experience at nationals? You talk to the high schoolers, and they all say that every time you go to state, you learn something different, and it's so important to bring it back next year. Is it kind of the same thing for the national tournament as well?
Yeah, it's absolutely the same. We go to some big tournaments that have big brackets, and we're sitting in 32 to 64-man brackets, and that's going to change next year. We're changing our formula, so there's not going to be as many qualifiers next year either. But getting up there, getting on the big stage, most of them have wrestled in a, like a state tournament or a big tournament. Some of them haven't wrestled in anything bigger than a state tournament. So especially if you haven't done any national type tournaments or any big freestyle and Greco tournaments, you may be walking into a facility that's holding, I think we ran 12 mats maybe, or 14 mats. I can't exactly, I think it was 12 up there. But if you walk into a facility that's got 12 mats on the floor, and that's brand new to you, I mean, can be a little bit intimidating for you. But we just try to get them exposed, especially some of the bigger opens, but it's still a different setting. Most open tournaments, there's no seating, and this is an actual full-on arena, kind of like Hartman or the Expo Center and things like that.
So next year you are adding a new job title for yourself. You're adding on the women's program as well. We've talked about it on and off throughout the year. But how has the women's program kind of come along, and now that you are fully into getting ready for next year mode, what is the women's program looking like?
Honestly, the women's program has been great. As far as recruiting goes, we're still talking to some girls. We still have a couple scholarships left, but honestly, we don't have very many scholarships left. We obviously would love to have more. We're sitting at about 18 to 20 girls right now already going into our first year, and they're all going to be there for 2 years unless they change their mind halfway through or something like that. But we're excited for the women's program. We got a lot of top Kansas girls. So far we've only signed one out-of-state girl, and that was the whole plan the whole time was to keep Kansas girls in Kansas and give them an opportunity to compete. And so we got 17, 18 Kansas girls. Most of them have been inside the top 5 of their respective weight class, as according to the all-class rankings, or, we're state champions. We got a couple girls that are still on the fence that we're still kind of hoping that they still come. And, I firmly believe that we can win the conference next year right out the gate. We'll have a conference tournament and, hopefully be a top 5, top 10 team next year. Next year we'll be able to take our best 15 girls to nationals. And watching nationals, there's not a lot of freestyle going on. There's a lot of just girls wrestling folk style still. And if you know what freestyle wrestling is, you know that if you can understand a few things in freestyle, you can beat a lot of good people that are just good in folk style. So we're looking forward to helping some girls learn a different style of wrestling as well, and just branching off, and hopefully we can go compete with the best of them next year.
And talk about the way the men's program continues to build. I know that you and I have talked before that The men usually wait a little bit longer than the women to start signing, but those signatures are coming in now as well. How much easier does it get when you have the pattern of success that you have found where you can go, okay, see, look at how I'm building this program. We want you to come be a part of it.
It helps a ton. Obviously, if we would have gotten All-American, it would have helped even more. But it helps a ton just so they can see the progress, especially with parents. But I'm pretty genuine when I recruit. I mean, I don't try to flash things in front of them. I just try to let them know if they come here, what they're going to get. The results kind of speak for themselves. And we just try to bring good kids in that are good character kids that want to be a part of our program. And it does take a little bit longer. I kind of like that when the state season ends, because any of those guys that have come on a visit, prior to state, we start picking up more visits especially after spring, after this next week. We had 3 or 4 kids right after state come. So I can, start putting some pressure on some kids. I really honestly hate putting the pressure on the kids. I want them to be able to make a decision, but at the same time, I can't just sit around and wait for them to give me an answer, because we might miss out on some kids that are coming on visits that are just as good or maybe even better. I like to try to honor my word with athletes when I tell them, hey, I need an answer by Monday, or I can't guarantee you that scholarship any longer. So
right, you're on a timeline, and so are they. But everybody has a schedule, and at some point, kids got to make a decision.
Absolutely, and ultimately, we want them to be Cougars. But if they feel like another school's better for them, then I wish them luck. I mean, there's no hard feelings. It's almost a business. You try to sway them over the best you can, I guess you can say. But I've kind of just found being genuine and honest has kind of been the best thing for us.
Well, Coach, you've been very genuine and honest in the times that you've been speaking to us throughout the year, and again, appreciate the time that you've given us.
Absolutely. I look forward to it again.
That is Nathan Brockelman, head coach of Barton Community College Wrestling, joining us on Sports Day. Big thanks to Coach Brockelman for joining us on the show. I said the same thing when we ended the weekly stuff with Wyatt Thompson yesterday. Super nice dude, and has been very generous with his time coming in every week and taking the time out to come and tell folks about his program and what all they're getting up to. And I would say a very successful year for Barton Community College Wrestling. I think that they are on the right track. And, I mean, like he said, you can track just the number of people going to nationals and the fact that now they did it with a couple of guys that are going to be back next year, and the growth of the women's side of things. I'm very impressed with the job that Nathan Brockelman is doing with Barton Wrestling. Oh, he said one more thing on the way out. He wanted to mention this. It slipped his mind. But I said, well, I didn't tell him I'd do this, but I wanted to get it in for him. He mentioned the different styles of wrestling. There's folk style, there's Greco-Roman, and there's freestyle. They are starting up a camp, I believe Monday is when Barton will be starting up a camp for freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling. And so if you want to be a part of that camp, I believe he said it was a kids camp. Don't quote me on that. Look it up. But I'm sure you can find something online. But there's a club or a camp of some kind being started up at Barton for freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling. And certainly look that up if it's something that might interest you. Hey, man, wrestling is fun. Here's the thing. Even if you don't love wrestling, I didn't love wrestling, but I still did it. And it's by far the best shape you will ever be in your life is whenever you go through a wrestling regimen. So even if you're curious at all, I say go for it. Why not? The worst thing that can happen to you is you go in, you go, this sucks, and then you leave. That's certainly possible. But, man, if you can stick it out, I'm telling you, the physical benefits you get from wrestling, as long as you can stay healthy, which, I mean, it's a sport. But if you're a kid and you're curious, go talk to Nathan Brockelman. He knows what he's doing. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bend Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also brought to you in part by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. All right, next part of the show. Michael Stedinger, taking over as the head coach of Great Bend High School baseball. Has been the pitching coach for the last several years, has been involved in Great Bend baseball in the city for a very long time. Now the head coach of the high school program. He joins us on the show to talk about the upcoming season. Their first game is Tuesday. They'll be on the road taking on Garden City. He'll tell us all about what's coming back, who some of the new guys are, some names that listeners of the show will recognize from football and basketball season. And so Michael Stedinger coming on the show after this break. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville. Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Cini Doors, this is Cindy.
Do you have any residential doors?
Yes, we do. We just got a full shipment of standard residential doors in.
Papa said we have a load.
Hadley, you can't say that.
Papa does.
Boy, am I in trouble now.
I'll take care of both of you later.
We know how hard residential doors are to find right now, so hurry while supplies last.
Way to change the subject, Dad. You're not off the hook yet.
Hey, announcer, help me out of this.
C&E Doors, Great Bend, and Hayes.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you now, joined by Michael Stedinger, the head coach of Great Bend High School baseball. First time you've been introduced that, well, maybe not the first time you've been introduced that way, but first time on this show, Coach. And first of all, congratulations on getting the job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a little bit different to hear head coach in front of your name for the varsity program compared to JV and freshman and C team and all that stuff and the Legion stuff that we've done in the past.
Well, like you say, you've done all that in the past. Fans of Great Bend baseball know who you are. You've been with this program for, 15 years now?
Yeah, 15 years as a coach, and then I actually played here in high school, graduated in 2004.
Okay, so you're a Great Bend lifer for the most part, and so you're now stepping into the head position, replacing a man like Randy Beck in this position. How cool was it to be asked to do that? And what does Randy Beck mean to you as far as being the head coach of this program?
Honestly, it's really neat because it's something that I don't know that I ever really envisioned myself being head coach here. Honestly, I thought that Coach Beck would probably get pushed out of there in a wheelchair or buried on the field. He's been around the program for 30-plus years. Coach Beck was my pitching coach when I was in high school. And so I've always had a really close relationship with him, both as a player and as a coach. And, just a guy, when we talk about baseball guys, that's always kind of the phrase, that's used in the baseball world. And that's exactly what Coach Beck is. That guy he lived it, breathed it, ate it, slept it, everything that you could think of with baseball, that was Coach Beck. And so, not even just on me, I think his influence it's statewide with all kinds of players. And even to back up, when I was in high school, Coach Langer was a legendary baseball coach here, and Kurt Schaub, one of our assistants on varsity. We've had so many guys that have helped just shape the face of what our program looks like now and create that culture and that legacy. And it takes guys like that to get guys like myself prepared to take the next step.
Absolutely. So you make a run all the way to the state title game last year. Obviously, you've got some seniors that have graduated. Ian Premer is likely not going to play baseball based on what people are saying. But the fact is, you still got a very talented team, Coach.
We do, and we lost a lot pitching-wise last year. And when I say we lost a lot, it's not that we don't have any talent this year, because we've got Daxton Minton back, and he's one of our top guys. Cohen Raborti's another guy that we're looking for big things out of this year. But with last year's class, what we had is we had seniors that had 3 years worth of varsity experience. And that's just tough to replace that on the mound, But we're looking for big roles this year out of these guys. And we've got a couple guys that hopefully are going to step up off the JV. Rafael Chavez is another kid that we're looking at to hopefully have a big impact for us on the mound. So, yeah, we've got a lot of talent this year, and we've already talked with the seniors. Everybody's expectation is to make another state run this year.
Every coach that I talk to for Great Bend High School, one of the first names they always bring up is Daxton Minton. And with obvious good reason. I mean, the dude is super talented, but quarterback, point guard, and now one of the starting pitchers as well. He hit over 450 last year, if I'm remembering the stats right. And so this kid just continues to be super impressive.
He is. Daxton's one of those guys that you don't get along every year in your program. And when I say that, it's not that we don't have tons of talented kids coming through there, but Daxton's really figured out how to be a leader. And I think when you're a kid in his position, especially playing quarterback on the football team, that's something that, you want every quarterback to have. But, he plays shortstop for us. That's what we're looking for out of a shortstop. And Daxton's really embraced that role, so much to the point that my son was at practice fielding ground balls with us the other day. My son's 8 years old, and Daxton's been working with him and trying to teach Zeke how to be a little bit better leader and stuff. And I watched my son go to his practice after that with his 8-year-olds that night, and I'm hearing him saying the same things that Daxton was saying to our guys. So that's what we're looking for out of these high school boys. But Daxton's done a great job being a role model, being a leader, and really just trying to take the team, and I don't want to say put him on his shoulders, but between him and Trent Kern and Cohen Raborti, those are three of our returning seniors. Those guys have really embraced that role as leaders on the team and done a great job of pushing the younger guys in the direction that they want them to go.
Talk a little more about your pitching staff. I know you touched on it there just a little bit, but who are the guys that obviously you haven't played your first game yet, but early in getting ready for the season, who are some of the guys that you expect to step up on the mound?
Obviously we talked about Daxton already, and everybody knows that, he touched 90 last year a couple times at the state tournament and stuff like that. So obviously high expectations with him, but Cohen Raborti's another kid that he pitched kind of sparingly last year. Is lefty for us on the mound, and we're really looking for big things out of Cohen. We're looking to get a lot of innings out of him as a starter. And then another one that had some arm injuries last year, and we're trying to get him taken care of and stay healthy. But Jackson Wandra is another kid for us. He was our starting catcher last year, and we're hopeful that Jackson's able to keep his arm healthy, and that way he can log a lot of innings for us, because he's got a lot to give us. Another kid that we're looking at coming up from the JV ranks, like I said, Rafael Chavez is another kid that has struggled at times with some inconsistency as far as his command goes. But, man, when he's on, he's got some really good stuff. So those are kind of 4 of the main guys. And then, honestly, after that, we're kind of opening it up to some sophomores and some freshmen to see what we've got out of those guys.
So that's pitching. Let's talk lineup here. Obviously, a really good offense for you. Well, look, you made the state tournament. You're good in both pitching and defense, and in the lineup as well. But you're the pitching coach last year, so that's obviously your baby. Tell us about some of the players in the lineup.
As far as the lineup goes, we've got a couple holes that we've got to fill this year, and so there's still some questions that remain to be seen. I think our infield's going to be pretty solid. Obviously, we've got Jackson coming back, plan on him being our starting catcher. Trent Kern, again, another big part of last year's team, offensively and defensively. And honestly, I might be going a little bit out here on this, but I'm not so sure that Trent Kern isn't one of the top defensive third basemen in the state of Kansas for people that watch him play. But then Daxton will probably anchor down shortstop for us. Second base is one that is open. We're looking at a couple guys there. We got Jaden Prilling coming up from the JV ranks. We got Rafa Chavez. Those guys will be competing a little bit there. First base, another place that is tough to fill. Anytime you lose a kid like Ian, there's nobody out there that's going to be exactly like Ian, but that's not to say that we can't find somebody. And, we had a kid come out this year that hasn't played in a couple years, Cale Kern, and he's been working out over there at first base. And we've got Eli Contreras coming up from JV ranks the last couple years. So looking for some big things out of those guys. And, Cale, he's one of those kids that he's just an athlete. And so we're hoping that somewhere on the field he finds himself in the lineup because, man, that kid he's got quite a bit of pop in his bat, and when he hits it, it goes a long ways. So, then moving around to the outfield, right now, left and right field are both kind of question marks for us. We've got Cohen Raborti, who we plan to be our starting center fielder. But as far as left and right field goes, we've got multiple kids that we're looking at. Cato Richter's a kid. We've got Carter Dreiling and Christian Alcala, Jacoby Council, and Gavin Wandra, all freshmen for us who, depending on what happens, if they can consistently hit at the varsity level, they've got a chance to see some significant varsity time this year as freshmen.
It's something that I think Coach Kyle Cree got tired of me talking about was the absence of Ian Premer. But to your point, anytime you lose the best athlete in the state in any sport, it's going to be tough to overcome. But, Ian, for basketball, was still a part of the coaching staff. It's my understanding he's going to go play golf this year. Mm-hmm. So you've got to find that leadership elsewhere. But like you said, the leadership of this senior class is just incredible. You've already mentioned a couple of names.
Well, it is. And just to reiterate what I said, Cohen Raborti is not necessarily a vocal leader for us, kind of leads more by his play and example on the field. But when you've got Daxton Minton and Trent Kern, who were gigantic leaders on the football field, both multi-year all-state players, Shrine Bowl guys, all of that stuff, just those two alone right there, their presence on the field, it's already had a huge impact on the entire team. And so, what we're looking for, I'd like to get back to a point. I don't feel like we've been this way the last couple of years. When I was playing ball, there were so many things that coaches never even addressed with younger players. It was all addressed by senior leadership or even juniors who were good guys, the upperclassmen. And that's something I think that our senior class this year has done a good job of trying to get back to that. They've really taken on a lot of the lesser things that we as coaches really don't want to deal with, and they've taken it and made it their own. And that's what we're looking for out of those guys.
Who are some of the guys, we talked about the names that contributed last year, the big names, the Trent Kerns, the Daxton Mintons, guys like that. Who are some of the guys that you expect to contribute for the first time this year?
First-timers, obviously, I've mentioned him already a couple times, but Rafael Chavez, we're looking for big things out of him. He was a guy last year that played all over for us on JV, had a great season on the mound JV-wise, and really when he's going right, he's got a pretty good bat, and so we're looking for him to be a contributor. And when I say this also, I guess I should preface this with these are kids that I am really hoping that
Sure.
things go
Sure.
their way. You know, anytime you're talking younger kids coming from, as far as whether they're freshman or sophomore, there's a big difference in hitting 14 to 15-year-old pitching and then jumping up to that varsity level. And so, you know, defensively, most guys are going to be okay and they're ready for it. But the hitting is where we start to see a lot of things kind of go awry. But, you know, we've got Rafa. We've got Jaden Prilling, another kid that I'm looking for big things out of. Cato Richter's another kid that has quite a bit of athletic ability, and man, when he's on, he's pretty good. You know, and then we've got some freshmen. That's one thing I will say. We were blessed. I believe it was 16 freshmen that we had try out this year.
Wow.
And yeah, one of the biggest classes that we've had in quite a while. And I would say they're one of the deeper freshman classes that we've probably had. I'd compare them a lot to last year's senior class. And so, you know, you've got kids, like I mentioned earlier, Carter Dreiling, Gavin Wandra, Jacoby Council, you know, Christian Alcala is another one. And then there's some other guys that we just, you know, got to play out the season and see where they fall. Because like I said, this whole class it's pretty deep. We're expecting a lot of good things in the future out of the freshman class.
Tell me about the WAC this year and where things shake out that way.
You know, the WAC is so up and down every year, it seems like. I really feel like the WAC is pretty wide open for us to win it again this year. You know, Hayes is always tough. I don't care. It doesn't matter what their lineup looks like. They're always going to be one that we're going to be competing with. You know, and I really feel the same way about Garden, Dodge, and Liberal. It's, you know, you're in a dogfight every game with all of those guys, and it just comes down to really, you know, who can get their pitchers on the mound and throw strikes consistently, it seems like.
Yep.
And then, you know, when you get guys on base and you get runners in scoring position, who can execute in those plays and then make the fewest mistakes defensively.
So, Coach, you get things started. You actually begin things with WAC play. I mean, you don't even get any kind of run up. You're headed to Garden on Tuesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Garden and what you see. I know no one's played any games yet. That's the hard part, right? You can't scout this year's team, but who are some of the guys that they have coming back that you remember from last year?
You know, I don't remember a ton of guys from Garden last year. I know they had a couple kids on the mound that were okay. They were a young team last year, and that was one thing that I do vividly remember about them is that they made, you know, quite a few mistakes defensively. We were in a pretty close game with them. If I remember right last year, I think we beat them 5-2. But it was a pretty close game, and then they handcuffed themselves with some defensive miscues and stuff like that. So, I mean, really what I could tell you about them, I know they've got Jacoby Rathbun coming back. As far as I know, he's a pretty talented kid. His dad, Keith, was a classmate of mine here at Great Bend that was a real good athlete. So just going into it, you know, game plan, one thing we're going to look to do next week with a team like that, where they're making a bunch of defensive mistakes. Once we get on the base paths, we want to run as aggressively as we can and just continually put pressure on those guys. So, you know, game plan wise, that's what we're looking for. Try to figure out ways that offensively we can put pressure on them, whether it's playing small ball and bunting or getting on the bases and just being super aggressive running wise.
Coach, best of luck to you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
That is head coach Michael Stedinger of Great Bend High School Baseball joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Coach Stedinger. He is going to fall right into one of those weekly slots that just opened up with basketball coming to a close. So, pardon me, that snuck up on me. But, yeah, Coach Stedinger, congratulations to him on the job and certainly looking for big things out of Great Bend baseball this year. And that'll take us into our final season of the year. I mean, this year of Sports Day has gone by so quickly, and I'm hoping it continues to go by quickly, not as in I'm desperate to be done with it, but I've just been having a lot of fun. I've been having so much fun hosting this show and interviewing all these different people, and folks around here are great, and so I've just had a whole lot of fun doing it, and I hope that fun continues. And, yeah, baseball and softball getting underway next week. Baseball opens their season Tuesday against Garden. I believe softball does as well. I think they open on the same day. But check your schedules as far as that goes. We will be bringing you select games of Great Bend High School baseball and softball. Mike Hesher will be on those particular calls, so be on the lookout for that over on B104.3 The Point, starting up very soon. Hesh is going to be in charge of scheduling that one, so I don't know when 100% will be on, but we will get that started very soon, and I'm certainly looking forward to that. Also, whenever Barton basketball gets done, which they are in the NJCAA tournament, we will move into covering Barton baseball and softball as well. Likely what it'll be, just because of time constraints and things like that. For at least the first month, I'll be taking whoever has the Saturday home game. And at some point, I may start traveling with the teams. It'll be up to them. But we'll at least get a little bit more into the season and before we continue scheduling those things out. But looking forward to that. Should be a whole lot of fun. And Great Bend baseball and softball should be fun as well. Trying to get Sean Bear on as well, another first-year head coach of Great Bend softball. Trying to get him on. Not set in stone yet when he's going to be on, but certainly making the effort to get him in the building and talk to him as well. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Equity Bank. There when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and in Larned. Also, by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. We got to hit our final break of the program. You're listening to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Barton Community College, in partnership with Golden Key Group, proudly offers the nation's first associate degree in federal human resources. This online program prepares anyone for remote federal HR careers across the government. Service members and military spouses can use My CAA or GI Bill benefits to take the next step toward a flexible, rewarding career from wherever you are. Learn more at federalhr.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Get active with Rec Sports. Youth and adult baseball and softball leagues are now forming. Don't miss out on the summer baseball and softball leagues for all ages and abilities. Sign up today. Online registration is available at greatbendrec.com. Deadline April 12th.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Hey Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Get active with Rec Sports. Youth and adult baseball and softball leagues are now forming. Don't miss out on the summer baseball and softball leagues for all ages and abilities. Sign up today. Online registration is available at greatbendrec.com. Deadline April 12th.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Welcome back. It's Sports Day on a Wednesday, midweek Sports Day. Hope everybody is having a good week so far. We've got lyrics is what we've got. I don't know that song. We've got 2 days left in the week after today. and then we get back to the weekend. Does anybody else? All right, this is not a sports-related thing. I just find it interesting, and maybe people will empathize. Maybe it's just a me thing. Time moves so much faster now than it used to. I don't know if it's me getting older. It coincides with when I started this job. The days just, I won't say the days fly by. The days feel like about the same length, but the months are shorter, the weeks are shorter, and I guess in a way the years are shorter, even though I haven't experienced quite a full year here yet. May 15th, that'll be 365 days spent in Great Bend, Kansas for me as a resident. So, I don't know. Maybe other people feel this way. Maybe they don't. That's just a me thing. Interesting question. Something to think about. Take stock of the time in your life. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of their community members. Also brought to you by Freedom Claims Management. Let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management, Inc. customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Barton Community College softball is in action right now down in Liberal, taking on the Seward County Saints. It's the top of the second. Nobody has scored yet. Peyton McCormick getting a start for the Lady Cougars. I was right, by the way. So I told you after that interview with Coach Settinger that Barton baseball is going to be on the road Tuesday to open their season at Garden City. The Great Bend Sports Complex will have action for Great Bend softball. The softball team will be welcoming in Dodge City as they begin WAC play. Other games happening this week, tonight actually. Tonight on our airwaves right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, courtesy of ESPN Radio. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets right here on this very station. If you want to listen to a little NBA action. Hey, man, look, LeBron James isn't going to be playing much longer. Dude has been in the NBA for more of his life than he was not, by a good bit. Dude is like 40-something and still doing it at a very high level. And maybe not the player he once was. He's not the best player on that team anymore, but he's still good for about 20 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists a night. And that's really good. That's really, really good. He's incredible. And also, Luka Doncic playing guard for the Lakers. You get to hear if you just want to see the Lakers play, they're a really fun team. Luka Doncic, the future of that team. And then on the Rockets side, this is going to be interesting. Kevin Durant playing for the Houston Rockets. KD is one of the best scorers in the history of the league as well. He's got a young version of himself in Jabari Smith Jr. that he plays with. Alperen Sengun is a really good player as well for the Rockets that kind of flies under the radar but is still very fun to watch. So, little NBA basketball for you as well. On tomorrow's program, know for a fact that we're going to have Jeremy Combs in. Jeremy Combs, the head coach of the Barton Cougars, will be joining us to talk about Barton Community College's seeding in the NJCAA tournament. The Cougars making it to Hutchinson for the 3rd year in a row. Last year was the first time they've made it in back-to-back years, so obviously this is the first time they have been 3 years in a row, and at this point, feels like we'll go into next season with the expectation being that Barton basketball makes it to the national tournament. Of course, got to get there first, and still got to make it, got to see what this year holds. Should be a very fun game. They will face off Saturday at 2:30. You can hear this game over on B104.3 The Point. They'll be playing the New Mexico Junior College Thunderbirds, and I've done a little bit of research into NMJC. They finished second in their league. The what do they call it? The WAJAC, I think is what they call it. The Western American Junior College Athletic Conference, the WJCAC, or the WAJCAC, the WAJAC. I just call it the Western, I think is what I'm going to be calling it. But they finished second in the Western, I think it is just the Western Junior College Athletic Conference. It doesn't matter. Either way, they finished second in that conference. They lost in the semifinals of the Region 5 tournament, where they lost to eventual champion Howard. Howard, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, and they lost that game in overtime. So this is a very good New Mexico junior college team. I believe they went 26-5 on the season, something like that. Now, the league they play in, not as good as the Jayhawk Conference, which is why Barton was the 15 seed to their 18. So you're gonna still get a very quality matchup here. When you look at this Thunderbird team, they are big. They rebound very well. They're athletic. They shoot a lot of threes. And they make them at a very high clip as well. That's kind of what they do. They rebound very effectively. They want to be able to score inside, but they live and die by the three-point line, or at least come very close to that. They also force a lot of turnovers. Fans of the Jayhawk Conference will think that they play a similar style to Butler, and it's not dissimilar, but they do it in a different way. They are putting ball pressure, but they're not going for steals from ball carriers quite as much as Butler does. They're not quite as physical. They play a different kind of physicality than Butler does. I think if I can inject some of my own bias with this, I think that they are a more watchable team than Butler, but should be an interesting game between Barton and Butler. I think that Barton is more athletic. I think that Barton does a better job of finishing at the rim. Barton is a team that but more than NMJC can beat you at the free throw line, which goes for every team in college basketball. But NMJC, not a great free throw shooting team for a team that shoots as many threes as much as they do and as well as they do. So looking forward to that contest on Saturday. Winner will face the number 2 overall seed, the College of Southern Idaho. So definitely looking forward to the tournament this weekend. I've already put in for the credential and looking forward to getting to Hutchinson Saturday and seeing what that is all about. But that's going to do it for today's show. Big thanks to Nathan Brockelman, head coach of Barton Community College Wrestling, for joining today. Thanks as well to Michael Settinger, the head coach of Great Bend Baseball. Thanks to Landon Winkler over in the corner. He's running the video feed and the cameras. Thanks to you for watching and listening. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 12:30, right here on 1590 KVGB at 95.5 FM. This has been another episode of Sports Day.